The world is full of many things in life. Those who draw, those who write, those who consume all the media in the world. However, there's another thing. For no matter how creative a man is, nor a woman, nor something in the middle, no matter how creative you may be, there will be always something that awaits you. A critic. They are everywhere, and they exist in this world only to serve as your staircase to success or a spiral down to which you can never escape. Why, hello there, it is me, GumKid, the guy you are used to seeing talk in this format. And as much as I like it, I think it's time for somewhat of a change. I've had this for about, I want to say 2 years now, and I gotta grow up. I'm sorry about this. If you're already comfortable with the way I was talking like this, I apologize. Because now I'm going to be talking to you in more as this now. Also, yeah, don't mind the guy in the background. He's a bit outdated. I'll use him occasionally, but this is the way I'm going to be talking about certain topics to you for a while. It's kind of cute. I like it. All you have to know is I have changed into this butterfly of a man now, and I hope we all can move on and get used to it. I do apologize if this does startle you all. But I digress. I'm clearly just trying to flex on you guys on what I've been doing for a while. But let's get into the video. How to properly give and take criticism like a man. Now, how to handle the criticism. Just try not to take everything as an insult. This individual took the time and minutes and hours to analyze your art and write it into simple words for them to describe it in. So just as much as they took the time out of their lives to give you critique, the least you could do is see what they're trying to say. Which brings us to the next point, comprehending criticism. Now, to me, this was so difficult in the beginning of my art journey when my friends would point out, hey, the left eye looks like it's like uneven. I would not understand that. I would stare at it for a while and still not get it. It wasn't until eventually I started actually putting lines through their skulls or something that I realized, it is uneven. If you're able to take criticism and comprehend it, you will definitely most likely advance way faster when it comes to art. However, this also requires you to be not afraid of opinions. We all see as art as subjective, and I feel that's a nice excuse in most cases. I mean, if I see someone drawing like this, I would often want to tell them, hey, it's bad, but their friend groups would mostly defend them, which is okay. I guess art really is subjective. It's in the eye of the beholder. Art styles don't really matter as long as it's pleasing to the eye. That's my opinion, as well as being recognizable. But again, you should not be afraid to take the punches. If someone critiques your art, try to understand what they're coming from, what they're saying. Don't see it as them trying to raw dog you. If it's not an insult, they're genuinely just trying to make you better than what you are right now. They're kind of like parents, except I wouldn't be calling the 18-year-old commenting in the comments my mommy or daddy. And once you are able to pretty much not fear the opinions of anyone on the internet, which is insane, you can then embrace the concepts they are giving you. And then you can, even yourself will start to understand and see things in a way you didn't know. And anatomy will probably be better, and it's all thanks to that weirdo who said it looked like French fries. Now to the second half of the video, giving criticism to others. This part is what I feel is most important, because although many people are somewhat incapable of accepting the punches, many people are fully viable to deal the blows. Now, as much as I kind of dislike this rule, it's somewhat proper to ask the artist if they're willing to take criticism. I know, I'll explain why I kind of don't think this rule matters, but it's somewhat polite to ask, because obviously, again, some people just don't want to hear it. They don't want to know what bad things could be said about their art. They don't want to hear opinions. They're still afraid of it. They just do not want to accept it yet. And that's perfectly fine. Their mindset is just kind of a little fragile. Maybe that's not the proper phrasing. They're just too shy to accept it, and they don't want to feel like shit. That's pretty much the general consensus. When I first started, I didn't want to hear anything bad, but I had to if I ever wanted to get into the state of art I'm at right now. And I still feel as if I can always do better than I am now. So before you start critiquing somebody, please have the common decency to ask permission to publicly execute them. If not in the comments below, most definitely in private messages. Now, your opinion matters regardless of your skill level, because most people that don't draw will critique you. And even if they don't have the slickest idea of how art works, they will still critique you. That is because opinions are universal, and whatever they see matters. And whatever you see matters too. So if you see something that looks like dog water, don't be afraid to admit it, but do give some helpful advice. Which brings me to the next thing. Be very helpful and answer to the best of your ability. If you see someone's artwork and you see there's something wrong with it, and you know the exact answer to fix it, please, by God, tell them. You will most likely make a better person than you are ever witnessing in your entire life. There are so many people out there that will tell you your hands look like garbage, your leg work looks weird, your posing and anatomy is outrageous, but they won't tell you how to fix it. So to me, the greatest critiquers out there are the ones that are willing to show you where you messed up, how you can fix that mistake, and how to properly grow as an artist. To allow someone to see their own mistakes and fix it is by far a great blessing to have. Don't ever feel offended if this happens to you, by the way, because it is very, very useful for those starting out. Another thing, don't be wishy-washy with your honesty. If you're critiquing your friend and they're genuinely asking for an opinion, don't just be like, oh, it looks good, but it's kind of weird. But I understand why you went this way. Your hands, they have a certain style to it, which doesn't really, I don't know if it'll work, but I like it. Don't just rip off the band-aid. Tell them how you really feel. If it's a friend, they'll understand. If they don't, then I guess they just suck. Sorry. Honesty is the best policy when it comes to giving critique. But don't use that as a way to be a jerk. Lastly, this is something you will most likely deal with regardless. Criticism will come to you regardless. When I said you'd have to ask for permission, you don't have to. Like, you can just do it. I just think it's polite. Because, again, some people can't handle it. But the thing is, when it comes to artwork, story writing, everything, there will always be someone out there to criticize it, regardless of this politeness on the internet. No. Okay, so there will always be someone who will judge your work, no matter what. You can run it by your family and they can tell you it's good a million times, but there will always be a critic out there to tell you the business. Many of the most greatest stories out there are often criticized, whether it be for being so long that it's boring, for reusing a same plot, or for simply just being doo-doo. There will always be someone out there to criticize it. And if you really want to make it out there, especially as a story writer, comic artist, that kind of thing, you have to handle the punches. You have to understand that the punches will come in many forms, and you just gotta roll with it. And you gotta accept it. And sometimes even take the advice. If it's doo-doo, try to understand why it's doo-doo. This may be unrelated, but the guy from Steak Shake would often go to the garbage to see what parts of his food people did not like. And he would either remove it from the menu or completely change it altogether. What should you do with this? If there's something someone doesn't like, and it's almost the majority, most likely you should look into it. In all honesty, if you want to properly give critique, simply just don't be an asshole. Do ask for consent at times. If you do have an opinion, feel free to give it with as much honesty as you can. Just don't be insulting with it. And if you are able to, please tell them how they can be better. Please do not just gatekeep the answer to yourself. If you know a way an artist can be well improved, please inform them. Also, and don't be smug about it. If you're smug about it, you'll just get crucified yourself. And if you're someone that's trying to accept criticism and grow a hard skin, simply don't take every criticism as a insult. And again, many artworks will be insulted. I mean, mine has been dragged through the mud constantly at times, which I can understand. But again, don't take anything as an insult. Simply take it as either a way to improve your art or simply do better. But sometimes there will be insults, and if it's not constructive, I'd say just ignore it, unless it is a constantly growing problem, for in which case, yeah, go into the garbage can and see what's going on. So you can, and any criticism you can get, please try to comprehend it. Try to understand what they're trying to say. And if you already do, then you're practically halfway there as being one of the greatest people ever. You're the next Kubo. Good job. The more punches you take, the more hits you can endure, the more you are able to embrace new ideas and no longer be afraid of the mean people of the internet. Well, that's as much as I think I should say. I feel like if I say anything else, I'll be crucified myself. But that's pretty much that's pretty much my genuine advice, or my genuine critique. See what I did there? Alright, so I'm most likely going to be reading every manga ever again. I just wanted to make a whole trilogy of advice to better help grow the channel. If you guys aren't aware, I try to read every manga ever. It's kind of a quest I'm on. But in any case, if this video did help you, and if you have any ideas or suggestions you guys want to hear, feel free to comment. I'm not that big of a YouTuber yet, but I'll read your comments. If it's like, hey, make a video on how to make panels, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'm not just an advice guy. If you want advice on how to get more followers on Insta, I'll do it. If you want to know how to actually make a character in your story that's actually interesting and worthwhile to watch, I can do it. I can ask them higher up people. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. To the friend out there, I'll keep you anonymous, but yes, I will cut my EDs in half. Thank you. See, that was me accepting criticism. Okay, one last thing. Before I go, I want to say this. As harsh as criticism is, we all can learn something from it. So I actually uploaded a Google survey thing, which, me, personally, you can have me go and look over your stories. Ooh, this YouTube channel is primarily comic focused, but I can understand why it may seem like I'm more of a art guy, but whatever. Point is, I'll criticize your shit, and I might do it live. Who knows? I might make a video on it, or not. Really up to you. But yeah, if you want my advice, I'll give it to you. If you're subscribed, I'll kiss your boots while I do it. And yeah, that's about it. I forgot to mention that. Just really don't be an asshole. Just give your own opinion, make some suggestions. Don't be dishonest or wishy-washy. Stand by your own opinion. Oh my god, sorry. Dude, it's not the Discord ping. Shut up!